I called the preview for this game week in the Premier League midweek Premier League madness, and it very much lived up to its billing as we got some early Christmas crackers in the English top flight. Let's go through the 5 biggest matches, the 5 biggest results this match day 14 of the Premier League season. And we have to start down at Craven Cottage, where there was a 9-goal thriller between Fulham and Manchester City. City ended up coming out on top 5-4 in this one. A late surge by Fulham, unfortunately for the Cottagers, was not quite enough to get a point, but what a game this was. And the opening goal of it for Erling Haaland was his 100th in the Premier League, and he becomes the fastest ever player to reach that milestone. If he keeps going like this, he will catch Alan Shearer. He's got a long way to go, another 161 goals to pass the Newcastle and Blackburn legend, but he is very much on his way. Tajani Reinders and Phil Foden put Man City into a 3-0 lead before the break, but Emil Smith-Rowe got one back for the home team just before the half-time whistle. Foden restored Man City's 3-goal advantage early in the second half. And Sanderberg's own goal after 54 minutes made it 5-1 to the away team, and it seemed as though it was going to be a comfortable victory from there. Man City always win against Fulham. Indeed, they won again against Fulham, of course, but it was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Iwobi and Chukwueze, the latter of which got a brace late on in the game, really made it nervy for Pep Guardiola's men, but in the end, they fell just short. Incredibly, there were 9 shots on target in this game. Man City only having 4 of them. Of course, their 4 goals plus the own goal as well, making 5 goals for them. An unbelievable match. Do go watch this if you've somehow missed it. One of the games of the season so far, without a doubt right there. And let's head up to the northeast next, where Newcastle United took on Tottenham Hotspur, and this was a Desmond. This was a 2-2 draw between the pair of them. It was quite a dull match for the most part. It took until the 71st minute for the opening goal. It was not a particularly good one at all, but those 20 final minutes, those 25 minutes I should say, at the end of the game were absolutely thrilling. Gumarães getting the opening goal for the Geordie boys after 71 minutes. Then Romero equalised for Tottenham. Anthony Gordon probably thought that he had won the match with an 86th minute penalty, but an overhead kick in the 95th minute from Christian Romero from a corner won it for Tottenham. What was the Newcastle defence doing? I mean, the goalkeeper didn't really cover himself in glory with that one. Absolutely not. But it took about 5 years. It's still going in now. It's still not made its way across the line yet. I mean, it was the slowest shot I've ever seen, but it somehow went in. Just bizarre stuff, but in the end, a great point for Tottenham. Let's not get away from that, but very much 2 points dropped for Newcastle. That would have been a huge win for them. They got some form together recently, but my word, did Tottenham Hotspur need that. They'd get booed again probably at home if they didn't win that one in their next match, of course. Now let's go to the Wednesday night games. A 7-goal thriller on the south coast between Brighton and Hove Albion and Aston Villa. Again, Villa probably thought they had this one late on, but it was very awkward in the closing stages. The Seagulls actually soared into a first half lead pretty quickly thanks to Jan-Paul van Hecke. And then Pau Torres put into his own net to make it 2-0 to the home team. Ollie Watkins, though, with a relatively quick-fire brace at the end of the second half, made it Desmond going into half-time 2-2. Onana and then Malen made it 4-2 to the away team. Van Hecke got another goal late on in this one to make it awkward for Villa, but Villa continue their incredible run. I think they're up to 3rd place in the Premier League as a result of that. Indeed, they are. 3 points clear of Chelsea because Chelsea lost against Leeds. A 3-1 victory for the Whites in this one. They really needed a win. Of course, they've slipped into the relegation zone. They are out of the relegation zone temporarily. I am recording this before Manchester United take on West Ham United on Thursday night. But even if West Ham win that one, they will, of course, only be out of the relegation zone on goal difference, depending on that scoreline. But incredible stuff by Leeds. I mean, a 2-0 lead going into half-time. Biol and Tanaka with the goals. Neto got one back for Chelsea, and it threatened to be a bit awkward. Leeds seemed to be a bit sliding a bit there, but an absolutely ridiculous defensive mishap. I mean, the defenders, Sanchez, hang your head in shame. You guys are a bunch of absolute clowns with that one, because Calvert-Lewin basically was provided with a tap-in from all of half a yard as a result of that. Just terrible defending all round, really. Chelsea, of course, I've been saying, they're a bit of a sleeping giant in the sense that they've got some really good young players. They can play really well against Arsenal one week, and they can lose against Leeds the other. They are too inconsistent for a title challenge. They are not there yet, and they slipped down to 4th as a result of that. But do not get away from the fact that is a massive result for Leeds United. That can very much inspire some confidence. They had a lot of losses in a row before that. Confidence inspiring it as well for Sunderland, of course. People were a bit worried about them coming to this one. I thought they were going to lose personally, but they got a draw. And they probably should have won, to be honest. I mean, they had a really good chance right at the end of the game. Roofs with an unbelievable clearance up to, I think it was Isidore, wasn't it, for Sunderland? But a fantastic block on the line by Chiesa. I mean, at least somebody's trying for Liverpool at the moment. He very much was trying for Liverpool, coming off the bench, trying to make an impact. Wasn't to beat a 1-1 draw in the end. And they needed a late own goal for that as well. Mukiele putting into his own net, unfortunately for him. It looked like it was going to be Wirtz's first goal in the Premier League, but it was not to be. Taibbi before that in the second half as well got the opening goal of the game for Sunderland. Sunderland continue their incredible run. I mean, a draw away at Anfield. I mean, Liverpool have been terrible recently. They've been absolutely crap, but, still to do that for them is a big result. Let's not get away from that, and they remain in the chase for European places. Forget about relegation. They're in the chase for Europe, Sunderland, this season. They absolutely are. They're in more of a chase for Europe, to be honest with you, than Liverpool are right now. Let's be real. But those are my thoughts on these games, guys. Some absolute thrillers, of course. Big win for Nottingham Forest at the bottom of the table. Arsenal managing to get another victory and a clean sheet as well. Everton with a surprise away win against Bournemouth too. All games I couldn't really mention in this one that much because, yeah, absolutely action-packed. Let's hope for a great game tonight between Manchester United and West Ham, and some fantastic games at the weekend too. The Premier League action does not stop, and neither do we here on thefootballchronicle.com, guys. See you soon. Have a fantastic time this weekend. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this.